Hey everybody, how's it going? It's 6 o'clock. It's Wednesday night this week. I know I said we moved to Tuesdays at 7.
We did.
We did. We are moved.
Yeah.
It's the show is going to be Tuesday nights at 7, but I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I wasn't up to doing a show. So here we are on Wednesday. But
Alive and kicking.
yeah, I'm fine. But still don't feel great. But here we are. We're doing a show. Like I said, usually going to be Tuesday nights at 7. This is just, we're doing it tonight because I was sick yesterday. So Tuesday nights at 7. We are No Bones About Wrestling. I am your host, Asa. And beside me is my permanent co-host, Kay Fabulous.
Hey.
And this is AEW Weekly. So we got some stuff tonight to talk about. We're going to do the TV recap. We got your top 5 rankings. We have Kay Fabulous's do's and don'ts of wrestling fashion. Where's this going? So it's going to be a good show. We're going to talk about All In a little. I mean, obviously, it's coming up in 4 days.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's fast.
So we're going to talk about All In, but we're not going to go really in depth about the matches because tomorrow night, Thursday at 7, we're doing an All In preview and prediction show. So if you want to hear us, like I said, really go into depth, what we think about the matches, who we think is going to win, all that stuff, tune in tomorrow night at 7. All right. So we'll start with I'm going to do the TV recap real quick for last week. AEW Dynamite was August 14th in Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk.
What's wrong with you?
Norfolk. TBS title match. Mercedes Moné defended against Hikaru Shida, and Moné pinned Shida. Good match, of course. I mean, between these two. I'd like to see him get more time, like on a pay-per-view or something, but it was a good match. 4 bones out of 5.
I'm sure we'll get it at some point. Like, how do you not do that?
Mm-hmm. And of course, Mercedes had Camille with her new bodyguard, and we're going to talk about her in a little bit as well. We had Hangman Adam Page, who's not been wrestling a whole lot of matches lately, but he took on Jay Lethal, and Page got the win. This match, it was, Page looked good, Lethal looked good, but I gave it 3.5 bones out of 5. Would have given it more, except the match was very one-sided. Jay Lethal didn't get much offense in at all, so it was a very competitive match.
I think it was supposed to come across as like frenzied, which I think in that way it did a good job.
Yeah, frenzied? Why?
And Adam Page just seemed like a little feral, I guess.
Yeah,
like wild,
you know? Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, that's a good... Yeah, he was like, out of control. His emotions are out of control, that kind of thing. I mean, I get it. I'm just saying the match got that across, but it wasn't like a great match. We're never going to go back and watch Hangman Page versus Jay Lethal.
No, we're not.
No. Next up, we had a triple threat match for the number 1 entrant spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. I keep calling it a battle royal. It's not. It's a Casino Gauntlet match.
That's because we're so used to saying battle royal after the words casino when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah. So number 1 spot, it was Orange Cassidy of the Conglomeration taking on Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom, taking on Kyle O'Reilly, also of the Conglomeration. You would think those two would work together. They really did not. Very good match here. Orange Cassidy got the win, so he is the number 1 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match. We have not been told any of the other entrants yet. So we'll see. I mean, I got to assume a lot of people who don't have matches on the card yet are going to be in that match, but we'll see. Also, I know the Dynamite and Collision spoilers from Cardiff are out there. We haven't read them. We like to watch the shows as they happen. It's not fun knowing what happens in advance. Not as fun, obviously. So if you know the spoilers, please don't mention them. Please don't post them because we're not going to talk about them tonight because, like I said, we haven't read them. We don't know. So don't spoil it for us, please.
We intentionally have not read them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We like to watch the shows just as they come along. All right. And that match, that triple threat match, give it 4.5 bones out of 5. Very good match. And again, Cassidy won. Then we had the long coming AEW World Tag Team title match where the Young Bucks defended against the Acclaimed, accompanied by Daddy Ass Billy Gunn, who hasn't been wrestling at all lately, oddly. I don't know. We went from seeing him every week to he doesn't wrestle at all. So I wonder what's up with that.
Well, he is super old. Maybe he just needed a break.
The shape he's in amazing physical condition.
I agree he's an amazing. That was no diss against him and his body, but as you know, as we get older, you lose some energy, and so maybe he just needed to slow down a little bit.
I don't think he's losing any energy.
I don't think
Anyways,
so either. Yeah.
the Young Bucks, as we predicted, actually, the Young Bucks defeated the Acclaimed by disqualification when FTR interfered. Where it looked like at first they weren't going to interfere, but the Young Bucks kind of goaded Dax into punching them. And then, of course, the Acclaim got disqualified and, were pissed off at FTR for costing them their chance. But yeah, we predicted that if you watch the show. And the main event on Dynamite was a non-title match. AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland, of course, accompanied by Prince Nana, took on Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. And Swerve beat Yuta, of course. 4 bones out of 5. A good match. Very good Dynamite, as you hear. Lowest rated match was that Hangman Jay Lethal match, 3.5 bones.
Yeah.
Which again, it wasn't a bad match. It was just one-sided.
Plus, if that's your worst, if your worst match is a Hangman Adam Page Jay Lethal match, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what was your match of the night?
Match of the night for Dynamite was definitely that triple threat match for the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match that Cassidy won.
Yeah.
Cassidy, Strong, and O'Reilly all looked great. They didn't do the whole bit, where somebody's dead on the outside and the other 2 guys fight, and then somebody's dead on the outside and then these 2 guys fight. I hate that shit in triple threat matches, and they didn't do it. They just kept on fighting. So it was it was a fun match, very good match.
I agree. That was my favorite, also.
All right, AEW Rampage, also in Norfolk, Virginia, was August 16th. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We had a trios match, the Conglomeration, which I think it was Orange Cassidy,
Ishii and Briscoe.
Ishii, and Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe. Okay. Oh, speaking of which, what we got to do the T-shirt check this week. Okay.
So
what T-shirt you got?
I got on. If I can do this without hitting the dog with my tripod. I have a Mark Briscoe shirt on.
There we go.
Woo! Briscoe.
I don't have a wrestling shirt on today. Oh wait, actually, I do. Under this, I've got a black sweatshirt, but under this,
just lend you a hand.
Bam! Hulkamania shirt.
Yeah. Well, I guess yeah.
So yeah,
Star.
don't so much like the guy much anymore, but I gotta admit I still love the character Hulk Hogan. So I try to separate them in my mind. The same way you separate an actor. You can like a character they played without liking the person.
It's not the character's fault that they're played by a dum-dum.
Right. Yeah. But Hulk Hogan made that. Look, he gets a lot of credit.
Yeah.
But he's also did some shitty stuff. He just came out with a shitty thing he did at some party. It might have been at the Republican convention. There was some party and he made some racist joke about Kamala Harris, the vice president.
Nice.
So, I don't know.
I really sometimes prefer to just not know things about.
Well, it was just a joke
people.
too, though. So,
Yeah.
I don't mind jokes. It was kind of funny too, but I don't mind jokes personally. I think
Mm-hmm.
if it's funny, go ahead with it. It's a joke. Just calm down. But of course, we know Hulk Hogan in private is a racist. We've heard tapes of him, so that makes it a little less funny when the person is actually racist. They're not just telling a joke. Yeah.
I was gonna say it also might make it a little less of a joke.
Right. Yeah. If the intention is to hurt rather than to make someone laugh, that's not a joke. Yeah. Anyways, that's my take on Hulk Hogan.
We do not have the same take on things.
That's my take on Hulk
I
Hogan.
know, I'm just putting that out there.
So the Conglomeration team, accompanied by Kyle O'Reilly, they beat the Butcher and the Outrunners. That's an awesome team. Eric,
Hey,
Tate, what's up? How's it going, man? Hello. That's an awesome team. I wish we had gotten to see the Butcher and the Outrunners do some stuff,
Yeah.
because that, man. And they were accompanied by their new woman with them, the Outrunners, Erica Lee. I don't know where she came from. She looks cool. She's got a good look, but I don't know. But yeah, the conglomeration beat the Outrunners. Mark Briscoe hit Truth Magnum with the J Driller and pinned him. Then we had a women's singles match. Nyla Rose came in and she hit Erica Lee with the Beast Bomb and got the pin.
Mhm.
Former world champion there, Nyla Rose.
And the Outrunners stayed out at ringside for this match since Erica accompanied them.
And then we had a match we looked forward to quite a bit. We had Nick Wayne, 1/3 of the World Trios champs, the Patriarchy, and he pinned Kip Sabian after Kill Switch, headbutted Sabian, and Nick Wayne then hit Wayne's World finisher, which is a diamond cutter.
Didn't Mother Wayne do something too?
I think she did. I just wrote like the very, I just write the very end of the match. Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, because I love Kip Sabian, that there was more interference than that even to cause this loss, which I appreciated. Like, I'm glad Nick Wayne didn't beat him cleanly, and hopefully this will lead to something at All In.
Yeah, it took 3 people to beat Kip Sabian, so
Yeah.
it's a nice showing that at least they're not booking him to be a loser.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like Kip Sabian a lot. Very good on the mic, very good in the ring. He's his body isn't like Brian Cage or anything, but AEW isn't really about that kind of thing. So I've never understood why he doesn't get higher up on the card. Like, even back in the day, he used to be, he was an AEW original. So even back in the day, he was on like every show, but mid card, lower card, and never really made his way up, never held a title, anything. But has always done solid work. So what they're doing with Kip Sabian, what they see in him, we don't see the same thing, as obviously. So we'll see what they do with him now.
Just to clarify, we see more in him than they do.
Yeah. Next, we had Roosh and Kyle Fletcher of the Callis family, and they beat Rhett Titus and KM after Roosh hit Titus with the bull's horns and pinned him. And then the main event of Rampage, Top Flight, who came out, they were accompanied by Leo Rush, and who's kind of a member of Top Flight now, it seems, and their new female accompaniment. I forget her name.
I also forget her name.
But now Top Flight, she dresses like a stewardess / pilot, and now
Layla Gray.
Thank you. And now Dante and what's his name?
Action Andretti and
Darius. Brother. Yeah, Darius Martin. Dante and Darius and Action Andretti all dress like pilots. You heard me. They dress like airline pilots, like with the little ties and the white cutoff shirts at the sleeve, and it's not good. It's like something out of WWF in the 90s, like when everybody had to have a job, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, Doink the Clown, Repo Man, all that kind of stuff. I think I ruined one of Cade's fashion things for this week. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I feel bad.
I'll still talk about it, but no, that's fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
But yeah, so it looks goofy. If you didn't see them on Rampage, look it up. Look up Top Flight on Rampage. It looks goofy. It's like I halfway like it, and I halfway think it's stupid as hell.
I hate it. Actually, I like Action Andretti dressing as pilots, but not the other two.
Why?
So figure that out.
Why?
Well, I think he is almost like the Alex Abrahantes of Top Flight, except sometimes he wrestles in trios matches with them. He is like their cheerleader and their manager. Not really. He's like a member, but he's not an official member because he's not blood related. And so I feel like he could represent the team like a mascot, kind of wearing the pilot uniform. And if Layla Gray is not wrestling, I guess she can wear her slutty stewardess outfit if she wants.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't. How did they get them off to wrestle? Were they tearaway?
I don't know. Well,
I can't remember.
Didn't they wear the shirt? No, they didn't wear the shirts, did they?
No.
No, they took the shirts off to wrestle. Yeah. But they still had the striped pants, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your fashion take.
It's okay. It was a don't, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, don't dress like fucking pilots into the
Yeah.
ring. What were some other WWF gimmick? Yokozuna was a sumo wrestler.
Oh my god, we were listing them.
We
the other
listed
day.
them
We listed
all
like
because
100.
yeah,
We have a barber with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. We had Big Boss Man,
Was a
cop. Diesel was a truck driver. You said Shawn Michaels was like a male prostitute or something?
that was a joke.
Oh.
That was a joke.
I totally believed you.
No, Shawn Michaels did not play a male prostitute character.
He's like,
Only in my head did he play a male prostitute character. He seemed like a male prostitute.
maybe in Vince's head too.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there was, there's a rumor that Vince and Shawn had a sexual relationship. So just putting that out there.
it's interesting. There's lots of rumors of lots of things.
Lots of rumors in wrestling.
My
yeah.
favorite occupation gimmick would be Erwin R. Shyster, Mr. IRS himself.
Tax
Love
man,
him.
IRS.
Love him.
But yeah, my point is so many gimmick. Thank you, Eric, the honky tonk man,
Yeah.
Elvis impersonator. Yeah, we could go on and on
Yeah.
about the job gimmicks in WWF in the 90s. But like I said, this I used to like those back then, but I was a child.
Mhm.
But Top Flight, like I said, feels like it came right out of 1993
Yeah.
WWF to me.
Repo Man.
Boom, 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 boom,
His
boom.
job title's in his name.
Yeah. The Repo Man, if you don't know him, he would sneak around like this. He'd sneak around, he had a mask on, he kind of looked like a raccoon. And he would sneak up like in the middle of the night and he would have feuds with his opponents. He would like bring his truck and hook it to their car and like steal their car and be like, I'm repossessing his car, he missed a payment.
See,
And shit like that. He would
like
steal
that.
shit. Oh no, it was great. Yeah. He would steal shit and be like, I'm repossessing it. And then that's how the feuds always started, is he's stealing shit from people.
Wait, so do the Young Bucks have an occupation gimmick since they're also the EVPs? Because like Britt Baker
Yeah,
has a
but I don't-
dentist gimmick, but she's also an actual dentist.
I
So
still count that. That's a job gimmick.
yeah, I knew Britt Baker was, but what do you think about the EVPs and the Young
Not
Bucks?
really, no. That's because that's a common wrestling thing, people in power abusing their power.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not like the others we're listing, no.
Yeah. I might disagree.
Anyways, like I said, we could go on and on and on about the job gimmicks.
We won't.
Yeah, Top Flight beat the MXM collection when Dante hit the crossover frog splash where he pretends he's putting a basketball through his legs twice. Don't know the point of that. I think he needs to change that up.
I didn't realize that's what he was doing.
Yeah, but he's just miming a basketball.
Yeah.
So
I bet it came from that Young Bucks match where they had a basketball. Remember?
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. I doubt it came from that.
I don't know.
But yeah, he hit his crossover frog splash. Dante did hit it on Mansoor and pinned him. And the MXM collection did quite a bit of humor. They even did one spot where you knew I was going to talk about it, where Mansoor is in the ring, and the Top Flight, what's her name, Layla Gray. Layla Gray is like has her shirt. She's pulling it down, showing off her cleavage.
She's standing on the ring apron.
Right, standing on the ring apron, showing off her cleavage. And Mansoor's like, oh my goodness, he's like hypnotized by it. But then his partner,
Madden,
what's his name?
Madden Mason.
Madden Mason. His
Or
partner,
is it Mason Madden?
It's Mason Madden.
Okay.
It's Mason Madden.
Sorry.
His partner, Mason Madden, then he's on the ring apron, obviously.
On the other side.
On the other side, and then he hangs his fucking ass into the ring. He turns around and hangs his ass.
And like wiggles it.
Through the top and middle ropes and is wiggling around. So Mansoor's like, man, do I want the tits or do I want the fucking asshole? My partner's asshole. Which I've never seen in wrestling before, personally. And I didn't really, it was funny. I don't know if I really want that in my wrestling. But it was funny. A lot of the things they do are funny. That was kind of, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre to me.
Well,
Didn't add anything to the match.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't mind it when they do funny things in matches that don't impede the flow of the match, but like this match came to a stop for this scene to happen.
Correct.
And then resumed.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really affected the flow of the match because
Oh,
they
yeah.
had like
They had a good match.
momentum
They had a
going.
good match going on.
Yeah.
And then that just like you said, just broke it
Yeah.
up, broke it all up.
Like, I don't really care what they do, just like don't mess up my match that I'm watching.
I hear you. But that was the main event. Rampage, good show. I always say it every week.
Mhm.
Watch Rampage. It has, by percentage, it has the most wrestling of any AEW show. Well, of any show on television, any wrestling show on television, I should say. Always good matches, of like some of the B and C. Sometimes they'll have like an A talent on there.
Mhm.
But yeah, good show, Rampage. Always. Check it out. AEW Collision, August 17th in Arlington, Texas. They're still doing that residency in that esports sportatorium or whatever it's called.
I think it's just called the Esports Arena.
I like
I
sportatorium
know
better.
you say it every week, and that's not the name of it.
No, it's not the name of it, but that's what I like. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, pinned Harley Cameron after a stomp. 3 bones out of 5. Decent match, nothing special, nothing too bad. Harley Cameron's not great, but she did all right in this match. She's a decent seller.
She's decent.
Her offense needs a lot of work, but she's a decent seller. I'll give her that.
She looks really good when she's wrestling people not as good as Britt Baker.
Okay.
Like when she's wrestling like other B or C level wrestlers, I think she comes off looking better than the other wrestler a lot of the time.
Okay. Then we had a Ring of Honor World Tag Team title match. So the champions, of course, the Undisputed Kingdom, and their challengers are 1/3 of the Ring of Honor World 6-man tag champs, Dustin Rhodes. He holds those with the Von Erich brothers. And then his partner for this tag team match was Sammy Guevara. They formed a faction there with the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes and Sammy in Ring of Honor, and I like it. I like all those guys.
Mhm.
It's a cool combination. I wish we watched Ring of Honor weekly. I would like to see where it's going, but just we don't have time. We watch the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. We do watch alongs if you want to tune into those, but that's the only Ring of Honor we do. But anyways, so Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara beat the Undisputed Kingdom after Sammy hit a swanton bomb on Mike Bennett. Sammy decided not to do his shooting star, after injuring Jeff Hardy. It seems like he might have taken that out of his repertoire, and he should. If you can't control where you're going to land, you don't have any business doing that. I hate to say. But he hit it on Mike Bennett at the pin. New Ring of Honor tag champs, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. So
Dustin Rhodes, a double champion.
Dustin Rhodes, 1/3 of the world of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag champs and half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team champs. So Dustin Rhodes had never held a belt in a in the new Ring of Honor or in AEW. Anything run by Tony Khan. So now he's in a week or 2 week span. He's won 2 belts. So hopefully this doesn't mean he's retiring, because I think he looks great in the ring. I think he looks very good in the ring. Physically, he doesn't look good. When you look at him, he looks old. Definitely, but he's led a hard life of addiction. So I think that's part a lot of that. But he's been clean for like 16 years now. So good for him. But my point is, he still looks great in the ring. So I hope Dustin Rhodes isn't going anywhere. I hope this isn't like a farewell tour, but it feels like it kind of. So, yeah, good for them. Very good match. Very good match. 4.5 bones out of 5. Very fun match, and that was surprising. I did not expect them to take the belts.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like, shocked.
Yeah, I just didn't think they were going to give Dustin Rhodes 2 belts in Ring of Honor. So
I didn't think they were going to take the only belts that the Undisputed Kingdom had left. They're with dissolving their fizzling faction. That's hard
easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, every other match I predicted correctly on Collision except that one, and so I like it. I'm not complaining at all. I like it when I'm surprised, because I do find AEW pretty predictable, but I'd say the same about WWE. Which I don't watch anymore, but that's a lot of why I stopped watching it. It was very predictable. After you've been watching wrestling for 25 years or whatever, 30 years, however long I have, you kind of get used to how things work, and
Well, I've been watching for 7 years. I don't know what year it is. Or how to do math, but I've not been watching for that long, and I figure like I know what's going to happen most of the time. Like I don't think it's just for like lifelong wrestling fans. Like wrestling in general is pretty predictable most of the time.
Yeah, but you have access to my knowledge.
Oh, I'm sorry. So my knowledge is based solely on what knowledge you gift to
Not
me.
solely, just a lot. Just a lot. And then there's also the collective unconscious, which we have to talk about, just ideas floating in the air that belong to all of us. But that's a different conversation, really.
Wait, what?
It's a metaphysical concept.
So you think ideas are floating through the air and then our heads like absorb them?
Yes, a lot of times. Yes, I do.
As a science teacher, I say, do not listen to this man.
It's true. And the more powerful the thought, like the more people think it, the more powerful the thought in a society. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, so yeah, Collision. Back to Collision. Hologram, awesome. I say it every week. If you've not seen Hologram wrestle, look him up on the inner tube. Inner tube.
I thought you were just saying that to be funny. You actually called it that?
I accidentally called it that. Look it up on the internet or YouTube or whatever, wherever you can find it. Look up Hologram. Find one of his matches. This guy is awesome on inner tube. But yeah, Hologram took on Angelico, who is I really like. He's very well trained in several styles of wrestling. This was a very good match. Hologram pinned Angelico with a crucifix pin, and Angelico, of course, accompanied by his partner in the Spanish announce project, Serpentico. In that match, I gave 4.5 bones, and Hologram continues to be undefeated. I believe he's 5-0 in AEW now.
Correct.
And he came from CMLL as
No.
what? AAA.
AAA.
AAA, excuse me. As Aramis, or I think it's Aramis. I'm not sure. That's how Aramis in Espanol. So I think it's Aramis. I'm not sure though. Could be Aramis. That sounds more like it. Aramis. Yeah, Aramis. I bet it is. But yeah, man, he pulls out every match he's had. He pulls out several moves that I've never seen before. So he's not just a kind of run of the mill luchador, which most luchadors are pretty good. The ones that have come to America, they're pretty good. That's how they get to come to America and wrestle. But my point is, Hologram, not run of the mill at all, not like other masked luchadors. The guy is phenomenal. I mean, he's instantly become one of the best wrestlers in AEW, and one of my personal favorites. And I think Kay, who just left us, I think she would think the same. Oh, what have I done? You need to talk. I took myself out of the show.
So sorry about that. My mic's muted, so I don't even know if they can hear me. Are you back in yet?
No.
All right. So let me know when you're going to go back in, so I can turn my mic off. So I do agree with him about Hologram. I don't know if he's one of my favorite character, and they carry their character into the ring with them. And so I just think getting to know Hologram will make him even more interesting. I'm going to put my mic back on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, sorry. Now you can hear me. Sorry about that, folks. I pressed the wrong button. Took myself out of the show. Trying to be fancy with stuff.
We both use his mic, so
Yeah.
he also took me out briefly.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh man, and we lost a fucking like 8 viewers. Anyways, I'm still here. It's okay. So yeah, speaking of Hologram, I would love to see him. I'd be interested, I should say, to see. Is he good on the mic? Or maybe does he only speak Spanish? I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy yet. I keep meaning to look into his background. And when he was in AAA. And unfortunately, it seems like he was one of the last people in AAA, who was pretty good. I think now it's just
What are you talking about?
AAA is really kind of fallen off. The CMLL is the good one, is the best one in Mexico now.
But like Triple Mania, like Nick Namath was the mega champion until like 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, it had. I mean, I'm not saying it's always sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are, but
you're saying it's not as good as it was.
No,
okay.
It's not as good as it was, and by a lot of people's thoughts, it's just plain out not good.
Well, their best wrestler and one of the best wrestlers in the world is injured. So.
Oh, El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah, we gotta forgive it a little bit. Speaking of which.
Yeah, we got some new background up here. You probably can't see. Just trying to keep things a little fresh for you viewers. So yeah, we got a autographed El Hijo del Vikingo there from our good friend.
Down one.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got an autographed El Hijo del Vikingo right there from our good friend Dylan from Last Week in Wrestling. Thank you. We got a autographed Brody King there from the AEW All Elite crate. We got a Thunder Rosa autographed again from our friend Dylan. Very, very nice gifts from him when he came down to see us in North Carolina here. And we have an autographed Arn Anderson. We actually met him at an AML show a couple months ago. And then we changed out this poster. I used to have the MJF Bryan Danielson Iron Man match poster. So now I've changed it to John Moxley and Brody Lee from May 23rd, 2020 for the world title, which Moxley kept the title in that match. That was probably the biggest match of Brody Lee's career, I would say. I'm sure a lot of people would argue maybe some of his WWE matches were bigger. But like I said, you're fighting for a world title. To me, the AEW world title, just because of the caliber of people who fight for it and the caliber of people who have held it, I think it's you could argue that it's more valuable than the WWE title. Of course, the WWE title has, the old WCW title, put into it. They unified it with one of those two belts, however many world titles they got, 2 or 3 now. They unified it with one of those belts years ago. And it also has 40 years of history. So you can dispute definitely which world title in America is more valuable. AEW, you can make the case by work rate. WWE, you can't make the case for work rate. I know that, but you could definitely make a case for history, and having a historic run of champions there. But that wasn't my point. I just wanted to show you the updated background here.
Your point is that hologram is good.
No, because I was talking about El Hijo del Vikingo, who I believe is coming off of injury.
Yeah, he is.
Alberto Del Rio, who has changed his name and is now Alberto something. Why are you looking at me like that?
I think it is still Del Rio.
Oh, I thought it wasn't.
Well, I read one article where it wasn't, and then one article where it was.
I think he changed his name. I'm not sure, though. But Del Rio has the AAA title now, which, of course, Vikingo had, but had to relinquish it due to injuries. So I'm sure we're going to see Del Rio and Vikingo fight. I don't know how long is left on his AAA contract, Vikingo, that is. But, a lot of people, myself included, expect him to move to AEW as soon as he can. I guess is that he'll get paid more than he is in AAA. Conan, who runs AAA, is kind of notorious for not paying people what he says he's going to.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Vikingo seems to be one of the few who gets paid properly because he's, one of the biggest stars. So we'll see what happens with that situation. So yeah, hologram, awesome. That was my point. That whole diatribe, hologram is fucking awesome. Then on back to Collision, we had a non-title match. TNT champion Jack Perry of the Elite pinned Danny O'Ryan after a running knee strike. This was a squash match. And the strange thing about Danny O'Ryan, who I've never seen him before, is an enhancement talent.
Mhm.
They said when they were saying, bless you, when they were bless you, when they were saying where he comes from, they said from DallasSingles.com.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck
Which
that
is a real
means.
site. I checked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a real site.
my wife's going on dating sites.
I told you. I said I was sitting next to you on my computer, and I said I'm gonna see if that's real. He's like, I'm looking to date someone in Dallas.
I hope not. So Antonio saying hello. Hey Antonio,
Hey,
how's it going,
Antonio.
bud? Thank you for stopping by here. I just want to remind everybody after the show, we're gonna do a watch along for Dynamite
Mhm.
tonight. But you'll have to exit this room and then come. It'll be at the same place,
Mhm.
but you'll have to enter a different room. It'll be a different broadcast than this. So we'll end the broadcast here and then start a watch along broadcast. So
Yeah.
you probably just have to like refresh YouTube or whatever you're watching, and it should be there.
Just turn on your notifications and subscribe, and then when you get notified, when the watch along starts, just click on that notification, and it'll take you there.
But yeah, so that was weird. DallasSingles.com.
Mm-hmm. I took it as like the EVPs were like giving him an easy W. Like not only are they gonna give him an enhancement talent match, but it's like almost not even a wrestler because he's not from a city or from another wrestling company. He's pulled off a dating website. That's how I took it.
It makes sense. I'm not sure if that's what they did, but I didn't hear the announcing.
That's because they didn't say it. Like, because we went back and watched this, and I don't know why they would have done it if that wasn't the reason. But they just went on like like it was normal. Like I think Tony Schiavone, like did comment on the fact that he was from a dating website. But they didn't really go into the why, which I found odd.
And after the match, Jack Perry put the TNT title belt and Danny O'Ryan inside of a body bag that was marked with the word Darby.
I want to give him props real quick.
Who? Jack Perry? We're going to talk about it later. And then he pulled. Yes,
that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Are you talking about the body bag? I'm about to talk about the body bag.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I want to give him props because it wasn't a black body bag, which is what you normally see on like every TV show ever. It was army green, just like the jacket that Darby Allin always wears. And so I like that he used like Darby fabric to make the body bag. Yeah, that was my comment. I
did not notice that.
Yeah.
I also don't know this army jacket of which you speak. I've seen it a couple times.
It has like a giant hood that he used to wear like over his head.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. But like I said, Perry put the TNT title belt inside the body bag with Danny O'Ryan. I'm not sure what happened to the body bag, where it went or anything, but he then pulled out a new TNT title belt, which looked pretty cool, and we're going to talk about it later. Next, Claudio Castagnoli pinned Lio Rush after a pop-up European uppercut. He kind of threw him up in the air and hit the European uppercut. This was a squash match, basically. Lio Rush got in maybe like 5 moves. I mean, and that's including punches. Like he got in like 5 strikes. Mm-hmm. That was about it. So it was a squash match. Why they signed Lio Rush to put him in squash matches, I don't understand. So next we had Mariah May. She pinned London Dior after a Storm Zero, a stump pile driver. Of course, stealing Tony Storm's finisher there. And that was a very fast match. That was a squash match as well. The main event on Collision, the AEW World Tag Team Title #1 Contenders match, with the winners getting the world title shot at All In. The Acclaimed and FTR. This was a fantastic match. I mean, this showed you why AEW needs to work on their tag team division and make it great again, so to speak. Because this really displayed how awesome tag team wrestling is when you have 2 great tag teams. And this was the best Acclaimed match I've ever seen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, as far as wrestling talent, they both look great. Bowens and Caster look very good in this match. But as we predicted, they battled to a time limit draw. We predicted a draw, not necessarily a time limit draw.
I predicted a time limit draw.
Really, I predicted it before the match, right before the match, but not on this show. Anyways, it was a time limit draw. No one won. But then Tony Khan decided right after that, he decided, well, we're going to have a three-way title match at All In. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to work it. 2 versus 2 versus 2. You know, they could do it a number of different ways. Personally, I think it might be best to do a tornado tag match where everyone is legal at once, but they haven't announced any gimmick to it. So we'll see how they do it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed that they were always like that, where everyone's legal. But I guess you're right. Like normally, like in four-way tags, there's only two people in the ring and they have to tag to get in.
Right.
I never
So-
really thought about that with three-way, how that would work. Yeah.
I guess it's going to be the same way. Man, Antonio here pointing out AEW Dynamite in Cardiff. Yeah, 8 p.m. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we're going to talk a little about Dynamite. We're going to do a little short preview, and then we will do a watch along at 8. So yeah, everybody join us for the watch along.
Keeping my fingers crossed that I see Doctor Who make an appearance.
Okay. Oh, and again, that was the main event. Great match. 5 bones out of 5 between the Acclaimed and FTR. Awesome match. If you missed this on Collision, definitely go back, watch Hologram, and then watch the main event of Acclaimed and FTR. And this Acclaimed FTR match, that was the best match on Collision. That was the match of the night. And that is your AEW match of the week. Acclaimed and FTR in a time limit draw.
I am definitely, like, I'm not big on not official finishes, you know, but I'm definitely going to go watch this at least a few more times. I loved this match.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I loved it. That's why I was like, if you don't give this 5 bones, then 5.
That's true. That's true. I was thinking of giving it 4.5 bones out of 5.
Yeah,
Just
like,
I
I like
really
that.
don't usually give out 5, but then I thought, you know, what could I possibly say to improve this match? And you know, that's my kind of that's how I judge a 5-bone match. If I can think of no way to improve it, it's 5 bones. Yeah, so 5-bone match, great match. Moving on, that is your AEW TV report for this past week, and now we are going to have Kay Fabulous with her wrestling fashion do's and don'ts.
Actually, I'm going to say one more thing about that tag match.
Okay.
I think that tag match was the best tag match that's been on AEW television since Jay White and Juice Robinson took on, who was that, FTR?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the best match since that one. It was just a wower.
I might agree. There's probably something with the Lucha Brothers in there where I might not agree, but it was a great match. Whether that's true or not, it was a great match.
Well, they hadn't been tag wrestling much since then because Ray was injured. All right, fashion news and notes.
Do.
If you are the first entrant in the All-In Casino Gauntlet match, do let everyone know how bright your future is by dropping your old aviators for some nice black Ray-Bans like Orange Cassidy.
Don't.
If you are trying to sell an eye injury by wearing a bandage on your head, it's so stupid. I can't. Sorry, just picturing it. Don't. Just wrap a small strip of gauze around your head so poorly that it is clear that there is no eye injury. And not only that, but there's no actual bandage over your eye, like Hook did on Wednesday. It was see-through. See-through. It was terrible. Our dog doesn't like that at all.
Don't.
If you are trying to wow us with your wrestling skills, don't have a very thin silver chain hanging down off your gear in a place that makes it look like it's coming out of your butt, like Harley Cameron on Collision. Super distracting during the match.
Yeah, I don't know what was with that. Like a butt chain?
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, I turned to Asa and I was like, do you see the butt chain? And he's like, oh, I see the butt chain.
Do.
If you are the baddest scapegoat around, do let us know by smelting, tooling, and painting yourself a new belt like Jack Perry, who now has the coolest belt in AEW. And that is your fashion do's and don'ts.
Thank you, Kay. We
Mhm.
appreciate it every week, keeping us straight on our fashion. And now we're going to head to a segment we call Where's This Going? Where we talk about some things that happened on AEW television last week, and then we ask the question, where's this going? All right, so on Dynamite, after Mercedes Moné beat Shida, excuse me, I can't read my own writing. I knew that wasn't right. After Mercedes Moné beat Shida, Dr. Britt Baker's music played, but she didn't come out. And then Monet's bodyguard, Camille, saw a masked person in the front row. They're wearing a white mask and a hoodie. Camille thought it was Dr. Britt Baker, and so did we. She pulled them out of the audience and beat them up.
I said, there's no way that's Britt Baker.
Yeah, but then Britt Baker jumped in the ring, ambushed Mercedes, and went for the lockjaw, but Camille ran in to break it up. So my question, I understand what happened. My question is, if Britt Baker wasn't under the mask, who the fuck was in the mask? Who did Camille pull out of the crowd and beat?
As soon as she pulled her over, I was like, that's Jamie Hayter. They're going to bring her out so that the British people know that she's going to be at All In. And so they're going to increase ticket sales. But then they didn't do anything with it. So that was my initial prediction, was like, oh crap, that's going to be Jamie Hayter. And it wasn't. So I think it was just some random enhancement talent.
We're never going to get an explanation, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So essentially, in the story, she beat up a fan.
Beat up a fan. And I mean, they said that. The announcer said that. They said she beat up a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought that was strange.
Gotta go with it.
I have another question about that. But first, I want to point out here we had Castellar Daniel Garcia. Thanks for joining us. Says, glad that we are in a new golden era of pro wrestling, as there is a variety of wrestling promotions. I totally agree. Yeah. And even going to independent promotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there right now, and a lot of promotions doing awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a great time to be a fan.
I agree.
And a wrestler.
Yeah,
probably.
I wish we could cover more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like more of the indie scene or Mexican wrestling. Maybe we can figure out a way to do that. I would love to.
Oh.
He also says, love the NWA in the CW. I was not aware it was on the CW. I might give it a watch. He also says now NXT comes to the CW. That I did know about. And he says AEW would be a perfect fit for ESPN.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I agree. That would be great. I mean, ESPN, they want the younger viewers and the 18 through 49. Mm-hmm. Wrestling brings those. And, ESPN, actually, they report on pro wrestling. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't do it on TV, but ESPN isn't what it used to be. But they do on the internet. ESPN does report about pro wrestling. So that would be cool. I'm hoping personally, though, we get an online, the package. I want the library of all the matches online. That's personally what I want, and some sort of streaming service. It doesn't seem like that's what we're going to get right now. But AEW is still, a lot of people say, oh, this deal is done, this and that. AEW apparently, by all accounts, is still talking to Warner Brothers Discovery about renewing the deal. So nothing's done yet, so we'll see. Who knows?
I was just gonna say they do talk about wrestling on ESPN television sometimes, like as part of like the Kornheiser, and is that his name? Kornhauser, and the other guy, what is that called?
I don't know.
Pardon the interruption. Pardon the interruption. Sometimes they talk about wrestling. Sorry, I haven't seen that show in like 10 years, and so I was trying to think of the name of it.
So Eric Tate asking, who was the fan that got beat up by Camille? Yeah, that's why I asked about it, because they never told us.
Mm-hmm.
They never told us. They never will, I'm sure.
Yeah, no,
They're just supposed to forget it. Yeah.
I think it would have been awesome, though, if it was Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been good?
And Castellar Daniel Garcia here saying Amazon or Apple TV could acquire AEW. That'd be great. Yeah, I'd be down with that. I'd rather it be Apple, but Either one, sure. I'll get it. Whatever AEW goes to, I'll get it as long as the price isn't insane.
Right. What else you got?
My other question about that,
Mhm.
Camille she's undefeated in the few matches she's had, and they have her, beating up here. She, ran off Britt Baker, beat her up, former world champion. So they've really booked Camille as being a very strong woman. Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of her few matches was a handicap match.
Right. Yeah. We saw
She won
that
easily.
Yeah. We were there for that at Dynamite. Or wait, was that Dynamite or Rampage?
Dynamite,
I think. But my question is, and I'm way ahead on this. But my question is, how long until Camille goes solo, leaves Mercedes Moné behind and goes solo?
I'm gonna say a good while.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do the whole like she turns on her thing because we're getting that with Mariah and Tony Storm, and so anytime within like a year would seem too soon to have another story where that's happening.
I wouldn't say within a year, but anytime soon here would be just like a copycat story.
So I mean, if there's a way that they can amicably separate, I mean, sure, but I don't know. I feel like with Moné's character, it makes sense for her to be with a partner like Camille, who's silent, number one, because Mercedes talks so much, and two, is just like the giant muscle behind this teeny tiny skeleton woman, So I think it just works so well. I mean, Camille's really good in the ring, so it sucks that I don't think she should be on her own, like doing her own thing. She can wrestle by herself, but I think she should stick with Moné for a good while.
Okay. Yeah, like you brought up her figure, Mercedes Moné. And we're not supposed to talk about people's figures nowadays. Ooh, I don't give a fuck. She looks, as Roseanne described the Friends ladies, the ladies on the TV show Friends. She looks like she's just hair and bones. And I think that's an apt description of Mercedes Moné. Don't get me wrong, fantastic wrestler. I'm not dissing her talent. I'm just saying when you look at her, you wouldn't. That's the last thing you would think is, oh, great pro wrestler. That's the last thing I would think personally. But she is very good, and she is much stronger than she looks.
Like way stronger.
Yeah, I mean that.
All the women are like when women like when they pick up like Nyla, or I mean, it's just very impressive.
Yeah, who did she pick up the other week I can't recall. But Mercedes picked up someone the other week, and I was very impressed by it. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, that's my take on that. And Camille, how long until she goes solo? I think you had a great answer to that, Kay. I don't think I can add anything. I think everything you said is good. Now, I could see the argument though for the sooner the better, because Camille, I don't watch NWA, but she was a big star in NWA. I think that's where she came from, NWA. She was a big star, as big a star as you can be in that company. So a lot of people just want to see her solo, like a lot of her fans, especially. They don't want her playing this secondary role. I think this role, though, is perfect for her. And I think it's good for Mercedes also. Really gets her over more as a heel.
Yeah.
She's so attractive. Mercedes, she's so attractive and such a good wrestler. It makes it easy for us to cheer for her. So the more things she can do to be a heel, the better.
Like have a super annoying song.
Oh God, that song. It's like they're trying to hypnotize you or something. So Camille, give it a little bit. Get the character really established as just a beast, who runs through people, and then do the split. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're almost treating her like how, at least when I started watching, they were treating Jade Cargill. Except I feel like they're doing a better job this time around with making her just seem like a wall that people have to get through and can't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, they've done a great job with Camille so far.
Yeah.
And y'all watching the show, always I didn't say it at the top of the show, feel free, talk to us. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, if you got your own comment, try to keep it on topic of what we're saying, but even if not, I'll still probably read it. But yeah, just always feel free to talk to us in the chat there. Just be nice, be a polite person, be nice, and we will talk to you.
And if you just joined us, we haven't watched the Dynamite or Collision taped episodes because they haven't aired yet. But if you know the spoilers, please don't tell them to us. We're waiting to watch.
All right, yeah, thank you. The next, where's this going? Pac challenged the winner of the MJF versus Ospreay match for the American title, international title, whatever you want to call it. The winner of that match at All In, Pac challenged them to a title match September 7th in Chicago at All Out. So I guess looking ahead, this is a little of a prediction, which we're not really doing until tomorrow night at 7 on our All In prediction show and preview. But my question is, what's the matchup going to be at All Out? And even going more forward than that, who will win at All Out? Who's going to come out of the next 2.5 weeks as AEW International Champion?
Before we look forward like that, can I look backish / forwardish?
Okay.
Why is he not wrestling at All In?
Yeah, well,
he's from England.
Well, we don't know he's not. He may likely be in that Casino Gauntlet match.
Well, that's what I thought. But when he challenged for the title at All Out, I thought he prefaced it with...
Is he from England?
Yeah.
I thought he was from a different country over there.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Isn't the UK like 5 countries or something like that?
Well, 4?
Maybe he's from England.
Yeah, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
He might be from Wales. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But
anyway, so that's what I was saying. Like he's from
the area.
From the UK.
Yeah.
And I think he was injured last year and couldn't wrestle, correct? At All In?
I believe so.
And so I just found it shocking because I thought he prefaced, like I said, he prefaced what he was saying with saying that since he's not at All In, he's going to challenge for this title at All Out.
Right.
So why wouldn't he be there? Like, why would they keep him off the card?
That I don't have an answer for. I did ask you 2 questions though that you didn't answer.
I know. As I said before I answer your question, my answer is previous to where your questions happen.
I don't have an answer for it. So,
okay. So
the question is, what's the matchup going to be at All Out? Who versus Pac?
I think it's going to be MJF.
MJF versus Pac. So then the next question, who comes out of All Out as champion?
I think MJF.
MJF.
What do you think? Also, I might change my mind by Thursday, so don't judge me if on a prediction show I say something else.
I think Ospreay wins it at All In from MJF. And then I think we're going to get, that match will be awesome. And I'm sure Ospreay will rename it the international title. And then I think we'll get an awesome Ospreay and Pac match at All Out with Ospreay beating Pac and keeping the belt. That's what I think.
I'm going to just already go ahead and change my answer because I forgot that Ospreay was from England.
Yeah.
And like his love of wrestling at All In last year is what helped seal the deal with him joining AEW. So I'm gonna backtrack and say he gets the belt at All In so they can have that moment.
Good flip flop.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, so again, if you want to hear us really get in depth about these matches and give all of our predictions tomorrow night, the All In preview show, 7 p.m. All right, next, where's this going? Mina Shirakawa said she hasn't lately heard from Toni Storm or Mariah May. She said she, quote, loves both, and, quote, I just hope no one gets seriously hurt. So, which is odd to say those 2 things together.
Yes.
Do you expect Shirakawa to play a role in the Women's World Title match at All In between Mariah May and Toni Storm?
Can I say I hope not?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible, but I really hope they don't go that way. I just want to see these 2 beat the crap out of each other. You know, like I want it to be just them and their rage.
Yeah.
And just awesome wrestling.
I agree. That's what I want. So yeah, I hope not. Like same answer as Kay, but I feel like she is
possible.
After saying this, I feel like she is definitely interfering in the match.
Where did she say that? Was that when with Renee on TV?
It was on
Okay,
television.
yeah.
Yeah, it was on. It was on either Dynamite or Collision.
Okay, yeah. Ugh, yeah. I wish.
It was on. It was on Dynamite. Yeah,
All
it was
right.
on Dynamite last week. But yeah, so I hope not. My next, where's this going? I'm going to answer my own question first. So at All In, no, excuse me, on Dynamite tonight, Hook wrestles the Redwood Big Bill from the Learning Tree tonight on Dynamite. So he must do this to earn his one-time only FTW title shot against Jericho at All In. So my question, he doesn't have to beat Big Bill, he just has to have the match, Hook.
Mhm.
So, well, now I'll let Kay answer first. So my question is, what's going to happen? Does tonight? Does Hook win? Does he lose? Does he get his ass beat? What happens?
I think Hook wins. I think Big Bill.
Hook beats Big Bill.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
I think Bad Apple interferes in the match, trying to sway it towards Big Bill. I think either Shibata or hopefully Samoa Joe comes out to get rid of the Bad Apple and possibly Jericho, so that Big Bill can have this match on his own. And I think with all of that going on, Hook gets the pin.
All right. Okay.
What do you obviously think Big Bill is winning?
That sounds no.
Oh. You seemed surprised when I said I thought Hook was winning.
I wouldn't be surprised if Big Bill wins. You know, just to really make it look. That's personally what I would do, just to really make it look like the deck is stacked against Hook. Plus, just fucking look at Hook and look at Big Bill.
He beat Brian Cage.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
I mean, I know it is, but that's how they're booking him. Like,
I know how they're booking him. I'm just saying what should happen.
He lost the belt to Jericho.
Yeah.
Can you name in the last year another time when he's lost a match?
He lost to Samoa Joe. He got his ass beat by Samoa Joe when he got that world title. I think it was a world title match.
Was that this year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess because Joe got the belt at the end of December. Oh, I totally forgot that happened. So, but other than those two, can you name another time he's lost? Like he's so protected.
He's very protected. They book him very strongly.
So I would be really surprised if he loses here.
No, I predict he'll win.
Yeah.
I just don't think he should win. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. What they should do is have Big Bill beat him. You know, have Jericho obviously interfere. Have Big Bill beat him to really make it look like the deck is stacked against him. You know, with taking a loss heading into All In. And I don't think it would make Hook look weaker because Big Bill is a fucking giant wrestler.
Yeah.
But it would be a nice win for Big Bill to, you know, nice heel win over a very popular wrestler. I think it would be good for Big Bill. And as Kay said, yeah, maybe Samoa Joe runs in at the end and helps them. That would be a nice return too. And as we said, we haven't read the Dynamite or Collision results. They're taped. Please don't spoil it for us. We're watching the shows as they come on. Okay. So we may be making predictions that are wrong. That's fine. Don't spoil the shows for us, please. Okay, next. Where's this going? Women's World Champion Toni Storm confronted Saraya and ended up giving her a title shot for Dynamite tonight. So my question here, will Saraya end up altering the All In card? Because whoever wins tonight is defending the belt against Mariah May on Sunday.
If that happens, like, I don't know if I'll watch All In. Like, honestly,
get real.
No. If they fuck up the Toni Storm and Mariah May match by putting goddamn Saraya in it, like, I will be furious.
My prediction.
Furious.
My question though is what is going to happen, not what do you want.
Saraya's gonna lose
tonight. Okay.
Yeah, she better lose. I hope Tony can hear me. She better lose. I know this is taped already, but go back in time and make it happen.
So yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think Saraya has a chance tonight. I don't think she has much of a chance, I should say. Tony Khan seems to really like her, and you know, of course, she's British, so I could see it happening and doing Saraya versus Mariah May, the Battle of the Brits. But I could see it doing a little swerve for us. But as much as they built up Mariah May and Tony Storm, I feel like you got to do it. Now, of course, you could do it next week on Dynamite, and the feud is still hot. But the feud's a lot hotter when they're both on a roll. Tony Storm and Mariah May, which they both are right now. Tony Storm hasn't lost in months, and like I said, the feud is pretty hot. And I say just keep the match at All In as it is, and I think that's what they're going to do. Also,
Wait, but you're saying if they don't, Soraya and May have the match at All In, and then May faces Tony on Dynamite?
yeah, you get a big match on Dynamite.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate everything about that.
Why are you against having a big? You're against having a big match on Dynamite?
No.
You're just against Soraya winning.
I'm against Soraya winning.
I'm just saying I could see it happening. I don't think it will, but I could see that.
I'm against taking the biggest and best story that they have ever had in their women's division and letting it finish not on the biggest show of the year, but on a random episode of Dynamite the week after.
Yeah.
Like that is so stupid.
Well,
I will be
Dynamite will
furious.
have more viewers than the
Don't
pay per view.
Don't care. Don't care at all.
I think so.
I would. Oh,
No,
I hate this question. I hate everything about this question.
No, I mean, I think we're both right. I don't think Saraya has a chance tonight to win the world title, but never know. All right. Does Chris Jericho working with younger wrestlers like Tommy Billington, who is a Dynamite Kid Jr., maybe what they're going to call him?
Mm-hmm.
Does Jericho working with younger guys like Dynamite Kid Jr. On Dynamite and Hook at All In, does this help or hurt these younger stars?
Well, I just read an interview with Chris Jericho talking about this very thing.
Oh, and just want to point out, Eric is saying, yeah, this is the first AEW Dynamite that's been taped. Yeah, it's pretty significant that it's important to them to do a live show, but yeah. I think just the logistics, I think they felt like they had to tape it. Yeah, this week. Go ahead, Kay. I'm sorry.
So according to Jericho, looking at ratings, like broken down per episode, there's a ratings increase, not every time, but he says about 80% of the time when he is on the television.
He's right. Yep.
And so I think it helps them. Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, they have a veteran in the ring with them, showing them how to do better, and then they have a veteran calling the match. They have someone like Jericho who has helped so many guys already. Like, look at the push that his feud with Orange Cassidy gave Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
I think that's like the best go-to example. And even Sammy, I just think, I know people are tired. Some people are tired of Jericho. But when someone is that good and that important to your company and is someone that can take all of these people under his wings, why would you not take advantage of that?
I totally agree. I'm not getting to put a lot of answers in this where's this going, because I'm agreeing with most of what you're saying, Kay.
Well, you just married someone really smart, what can I say?
So usually I'll say a little more about things. But yeah, I agree. And I know, I read the same stuff on the internet as y'all do. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Jericho, he's tired and he's old and this and that. I tell you, last year at All In, Old Man Jericho and Will Ospreay put on the best fucking match on the show.
They sure did.
At All In.
Yeah.
So don't count Chris Jericho out. And further than my own personal feelings or your own personal feelings, he is, I believe, he's the most well-known wrestler on the AEW roster, at least the best well-known in America on the AEW roster. I can't tell you anyone who's more well-known than Chris Jericho. Like if you're trying, the especially 5-6 years ago when they formed AEW, Chris Jericho was the name that really solidified them as, oh shit, this is a real company.
Yeah, that actually happened because I had a student who was a fan of wrestling and she told me about AEW, and that's actually where I first heard of the company. And she told me it was Cody Rhodes and some independent guys, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then she was like, oh, and Chris Jericho just signed on. And then I came home and told him, and we were both like, if Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes are doing this, this has to be something. And it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I mean, as Jericho says, I'm not one of those that really cares about the ratings. If you want to hear my rant about it, look at last week's show. I had a rant all about wrestling ratings. I'm not really one of those who really cares about the ratings. But if you do look at them, Jericho is right. pretty much when he's on TV, the ratings go up. I don't know if it's people calling their friends, maybe people are just watching parts of AEW. I can see that,
Mhm.
like I might just watch parts of WWE. I might watch the Lucha Brothers whenever they go there and nothing else, something like that. Um, I don't know if it's viewers just clicking around and then they see, oh, I know Chris Jericho,
Mhm.
whatever it is, he gets ratings for AEW, and he in the first years he was getting pay-per-view buy rates, and
Mhm.
like I said, he was the first star they signed to make it like a legit promotion. Nothing against Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks or Cody Rhodes or anything. Just like I said, Jericho. I'm not saying he's more loved or more talented or anything than those other guys. I'm just saying he's more well known.
Would you say he's more well known than Adam Copeland?
Yeah, he's more well known than anybody on that roster. That's my point, and what I'm saying. I mean, Chris Jericho was the first unified champ. When the first time they unified the WWF and WCW titles,
Mhm.
Chris Jericho won it, and he did so by beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night. So if that's not a fucking historic accomplishment in wrestling, I don't know what is. So those kind of wins for Jericho, and for years, he did that in WWF, multi-time world champion, multi-time champion in WCW, who's been around since the '90s. He was in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, etc. Wrestled in Japan, wrestled in Mexico, has
Germany.
Germany, thank you, has fans all over the world. Yes, Jericho in your company is a good
Mhm.
thing. I know a lot of people are like, please retire, go away, this and that. But the casual fans, like having Jericho,
Mhm.
I still think. And like I said, even if they don't, well, he's a heel. They're not supposed to like him.
Mhm.
He's a good thing for the company. And from the things I've read and what I know, he seems like he has a really great mind for wrestling. Like he's
Mhm.
come up with a lot of things. He invented the Mimosa Mayhem match
Mhm.
where with Orange Cassidy, and that feud with Jericho, like you said, really legitimized Orange Cassidy to a point. He was very much a comedy character, comedy only character
Mhm.
until that feud where he got like pissed off with Jericho
Yeah.
and really started showing he can wrestle. He's no joke.
Was that the feud where they did a debate?
I think it was, yes.
That was like one of my favorite Orange Cassidy moments.
And they brought in Eric Bischoff as the moderator. Yeah.
Didn't remember that. Okay.
Um, but then same deal. Jericho with Hook, Jericho with Tommy Billington, having this legend of the wrestling industry work with these young guys can only be a good thing. And I think Jericho is, he's not selfish in doing it and still working and things. I think he legitimately wants to give back to the industry, and that's what a lot of older wrestlers do. They want to help these younger guys so the industry stays around. They love it, and they want to see it. Um, they want to see it kept by talented wrestlers who deserve to be in the spotlight. And
Mhm.
so like I said, I think Jericho really likes and feels like he is helping with that. So as contrary to what a lot of people think, but I believe that. Yeah.
Well, he also mentioned in the interview, like, this is Tony Khan booking him. He said that he felt
Right.
like if he went to Tony Khan and was like, I need a vacation for like 6 months or whatever, Tony Khan would be like, hell no.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, he's constant. He's the third as far as who's appeared on pay-per-views. He's the third most. Number one and two are the Young Bucks. Chris Jericho's number three, so he's dependable. He's around for them when they need him, and I think they need him a lot of the time.
mhm.
Again, he's the most well-known wrestler they have, and they need to exploit that for sure.
And he must wrestle in a very like safe way because for someone, especially someone his age, like he doesn't have to miss shows because of injuries.
Right.
Like, hopefully that stays that way.
Well, and also
But
he doesn't injure other people
yeah.
either, so which is very important. That's
Mhm.
probably the most important thing
Yeah.
about the whole industry is
Mhm.
you don't hurt other people,
But I just mean, like, we've had so many other AEW stars
hurt themselves.
hurt themselves
Yeah.
and miss like months. And Jericho, I can't think of a time that he's missed any.
Well, he's really adapted his style. He used to be he wasn't really a high flyer, but he did definitely do more high flying moves.
Mhm.
You don't really see that out of Jericho at all anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like 50, I think he's like 55 years old or 53, maybe something like
He's got
that.
his moonsault.
Yeah, the lion salt.
Yeah.
I mean, he still does the lion salt. I haven't seen him do it in a little while though.
He said in the interview that when he feels like he can't stay in shape. When he feels like he can't do a moonsault anymore, he called it a moonsault. That's why I called it a moonsault.
Okay.
That's when he'll know that it's time, and it's not time yet.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
What else you got?
Let's see. Okay. Jack Perry, the scapegoat himself, made the new TNT title belt himself. The one that he debuted on Collision with that's mostly black with the K says it's red paint.
Red.
I say it's like purpley paint. I called it Klingon blood when we first saw it. But anyway, Jack Perry made this fucking belt himself. I mean,
smelted it.
Yes, I mean, using the metal,
like liquid metal poured into a mold that he then let cool, took it and like filed the edges to make it smooth, polished it, and then he painted it black, and then he like
splattered paint.
Well, no, but even before that, he did that. He removed some of the black paint areas to allow the silver underneath to shine through, but in a really just awesome way. And then he splattered red paint on it.
But yeah, I've never heard of a wrestler making their own belt before. I mean, it may have happened, sure. I've never heard of it, like physically making the belt. I mean, I've never heard of that before, so that's very cool. And there's a video of it. Where is that? I know it's floating around on X.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just look for it, Jack Perry belt,
or even just like I think if you go to Jack Perry's YouTube or not YouTube, what's it called?
X account. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where it is.
Yeah. Very cool that he made that belt himself.
It's one of the coolest things I've seen a wrestler do that wasn't wrestling.
It was very cool.
It actually might be the coolest thing I've seen a wrestler do, even including wrestling. It's so cool. Like I'm so impressed with him now.
Yeah.
Like he just got 100 million times more awesome in my book.
My other note was though, the blood, it doesn't look like blood. It looks like the real Ghostbusters slime to me from back in the 80s and the early 90s. Yeah, the goop that came in a container like this. That's what it looks like to me.
Did you watch the video on X?
I saw it. I know what color it was.
Red. You saw the red on X?
It was like red purpley. Anyways, my question about it was just how cool is that? That's all.
All right.
I got two more where's this going questions.
Can I just say one more thing about the belt?
Okay.
I hated the TNT belt, and I am so glad that he did this with that belt instead of with one of the other ones, because now it's gone, hopefully, forever.
Well, let me ask this. Do you think him making this new belt, this new physical belt for himself, do you think that gives away the match result on Sunday at All In? He's defending against Darby Allin, and he's just made this new belt for himself. Do you think they're going to do away with it in a matter of like 1 week?
Oh no, I think that's the new TNT belt.
Yeah,
I think no matter who wins,
so Darby could win it.
That is the belt forever.
It would fit Darby, for sure.
Perfectly. Yeah, and plus I love the idea that not only is Darby going to take his belt, but he's going to take a belt that he like lovingly made. You know,
that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
So I don't think so. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I don't know if they'll keep it forever as the TNT title, and of course, we don't know if they're going to stay on TNT and TBS. Who knows? But yeah, I hope they don't go back to the old design with just the
logo,
kind of plain with the TNT logo on the front. Not a very
decal,
good looking. Yeah, not a very good looking belt. Just a little commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I got two more. Where's this going? The Patriarchy will defend the AEW World Trios titles at All In. They're in a London Ladders match, as they're calling it. So they'll hang the belts up, and you got to go and grab. Who knows? You got to go and grab both belts, I guess, and that's usually the way. Oh, excuse me, all three matches. Excuse me,
all three belts.
That's going to be awkward. If one guy has to grab all three.
Yeah. Well, normally.
You think they're going to have each wrestler have to grab one?
No. So normally when they do this with tag matches, they have both belts hanging, but one wrestler, once you take down one belt, you can then take down the other one yourself.
Right, and just throw it on the mat.
Yeah.
Okay. match.
It's
We'll
gonna look
see.
cool with
Maybe
3 hanging up
three
there.
belts. Yeah, we'll see. It might get a little
I'm excited.
clumsy and awkward.
I love ladder matches.
Oh, me too. Me too. I just
Let's
hope
look-
everybody stays safe. Ladder matches make me so scared.
Especially AEW ladder matches.
Yes,
'cause
especially
they are, like,
'cause-
wild.
Yeah, people try crazy shit, and I know people love it. I love it too. I love it as much as y'all do, but it makes me so nervous for these guys because I just, in wrestling, I mean, for real, people say it, but you're always just like a second away, a wrong step away from fucking like really hurting yourself, maybe dying. I mean, people, it doesn't happen in America a lot, but people die in the ring. Doesn't happen nearly as much as you would think either. But of course, people have been paralyzed in accidents and things like that in America. Big E just, that was he hurt his neck, and now it looks like his career is done. And he had just been world champion, and that was a hard one to lose. And I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think he is either.
But yeah, like I said, ladder matches just make me scared. I don't want to see someone get seriously hurt. And the things that these guys do on ladders, I have no idea how they do them. And then we see them like walking normally the next week.
Yeah.
It's beyond me the way that these guys abuse their bodies in those ladder matches and still end up fine. I'm sure those things will hurt when they're 40 and 50. But a lot of these younger guys, they don't think that way. Of course, Christian will be in this match. He's 50, I believe. He's 50 something, 50, 51. But yeah, so I just hope everyone's safe. That's all I'm saying. That's not my question though, is how safe they will be.
Okay.
My question is, so the patriarchy are defending against the Bang Bang Gang, the House of Black, and a third team.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Who will be the third challengers? Who else is going to be in this match?
That's on Collision, or is that on?
I think that's getting announced on Collision this week.
Well, it's not getting announced. They're having a match for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're having a. It's in our news. They're having a, I don't know if it's 2-way or 3-way match to determine who's going to be the fourth.
Oh,
team.
who is it between? Do you know?
No, there were no teams announced.
Oh, okay.
Last I looked, anyway.
Well, just all out of the blue. Who do you think?
I'm trying to think of it. Well, I think the Kingdom and Roderick Strong will be, because they don't have an all-in match.
We know who has been teaming up lately is Roosh, Roderick Strong, and
Beast Mortos.
the Beast Mortos. That's been a very cool trios team that I've liked. And they've made our top fives a number of weeks, and that would be a cool team to see in that. And the Beast Mortos is he's wild, man.
And I would say the conglomeration, but Ishii is already in the match on the 0 hour, and Orange Cassidy is already in the gauntlet. So that only
leaves. I can see that. Kyle
O'Reilly and Mark Briscoe.
They could be in it and get another guy.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Briscoe needs something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be in the gauntlet.
I assume he'll be in the gauntlet match. Yeah. I assume they're going to have a bunch of guys in that gauntlet match.
Well, so maybe Top Flight and Action Andretti are a possibility.
I don't know if Dante Martin is rushing to do any ladder matches. If you remember back in, what was that, 2023? It was last year, right? It was.
Yes, yeah. Super Card of Honor.
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
Super Card of Honor, Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor. Dante Martin, he and his brother were in a ladder match for the Ring of Honor tag belts. And he broke his leg in a very gruesome injury. I mean, his foot was on, backwards due to how he landed doing a spot with tables.
He's been in a ladder match already.
Not ladders, really, but tables, right?
Well, it was tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yeah, but his injury.
He went, so he got power bombed through 2 tables stacked on top of each other, and the way his leg hit, I think he got power bombed. I don't know if you call it a power bomb. He got suplexed or power bombed off a ladder.
It wasn't a power bomb. I think it was like a suplex.
Yeah, through 2 tables, and when he hit the ground, his leg was in the wrong position.
Yeah.
And so that's, but he's been in a ladder match since then.
Has he?
I'm fairly certain, because I remember already being surprised that he was in a ladder match. Yes. Okay.
So that's Top Flight and Action Andretti. That's your prediction?
No, my prediction is the Kingdom and Roderick Strong.
Oh, okay.
But you said name a few, and it's.
No, I didn't. I said name one.
Oh, okay, fine.
So who will be the third challengers? I I think the Kingdom and Roderick Strong is a great guess.
Dang it.
I think maybe this isn't going to happen, but it would be fun to throw Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erich brothers in there. Not that I want Dustin Rhodes doing any ladder spots, but I think that would be an interesting trio to put in the match. What?
I think maybe Powerhouse Hobbs is going to return, and it can be Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, and Roosh. That would be good.
That would be awesome. Yeah, for the Callis fam,
Yes.
that would be great.
Ooh, I like it.
My dream is that Pac will end up getting a match at All In, and we will see one last match for Death Triangle. Have the Lucha Brothers and Pac in a ladder match.
That's all
I don't
wish.
think that's going to happen, but that's my wish for All In, is to just see Death Triangle one more time.
I'm going to say it, and I've said it probably already, but I'm going to say it again. They need to make sure the Lucha Brothers' last memory of AEW is at Wembley in a crowd of people like roaring for them in a big deal match for a title. And
Yeah.
that needs to be their memory. So that way when they go to WWE and I can't book them for crap, like they will want to come back.
Yeah, that would be great. My last "Where's this going?" question, and it's more like "What's the deal?" question. On Collision this week on Saturday, we saw Eddie Kingston from maybe his house or his mother's house. I don't know. They had a framed picture of Terry Funk on the wall, so that's cool. Yeah, it looked like it wasn't Eddie Kingston's style, so that's why I say maybe his mother's house. I don't know.
Maybe his mom's a really big Terry Funk fan.
Or maybe he has a lady, and the lady, a lot of times the woman will design the decor of the house.
It looked like an old lady house, though.
It did look like an old. Anyways, whatever house it was, he was there, and he's injured. What was his knee or his ankle? Or
it was his knee.
Okay.
But when he went out for injury, it was a hernia. So I don't know. I don't know where the knee injury came from. But he said he's not coming back anytime soon.
Right, but he had a cast on his knee and had crutches and all that.
Was bandaged. He didn't have a cast.
Okay, and the point is, the reason that they showed him was to weigh in on the main event for All In, Swerve versus Bryan Danielson. The title versus career match, and Eddie Kingston was basically warning Bryan Danielson. He didn't have, the heat, didn't have the heart. Doesn't seem like he has the heart for this match. Seems like Swerve's going to beat him. He's going to lose his career because he doesn't care enough about the match. He cares more about his family and this and that. My question is, why the fuck is Eddie Kingston weighing in on the main event of All In? Like, this is totally random. He has nothing to do with either wrestler. Who gives a fuck what he thinks?
I completely agree, and that was 100% my thought.
Yeah.
Like, when he showed up, I was like, oh, awesome, Eddie Kingston here. And then when he started talking, I was like, what is he doing? Like, what a waste of airtime.
Yeah, he was basically running down the main event of the show, like talking it down, saying, oh, the challenger, he's not fired up enough. The show's in a fucking week. Pretend like he's fired up. What are you doing?
I think maybe that was like a light the fire speech.
I get it.
But how many people have to do a light a fire speech before he lights a fire and like move on with the story?
Yeah, we had Jeff Jarrett do it. Who else have we had? Now we've had Eddie Kingston.
Someone else did. I can't remember who.
Well,
multiple people.
It just seemed really out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my question. Was why the fuck did it wasn't that long?
It felt long.
It was too long though.
That's what I'm saying. It was too long.
Yeah, too long for TV, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, why the fuck that happened, I have no idea. And especially he said he's nowhere close to returning. It's not going to help anything by him.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an angle, I don't think, with Bryan Danielson and Eddie or Swerve and Eddie. So yeah, I didn't get that at all. That being said, Dynamite and Rampage and Collision were all good shows this week. But just that was... On Collision, that was strange. I didn't understand the point of that.
I thought maybe there might be a history that I don't know about between Kingston and Danielson, since they both spent so much time on the independent scene, was the only thing I could think of as like a possibility.
All right, and that has been Where's This Going? And now, I'm getting something. It's an AEW news transmission here from the AEW Control Center at the. Oh, Kay Fabulous will be back with us in a minute. Here in the AEW Control Center at the No Bones About Wrestling headquarters. Injury report this week, new injuries. In the new issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer shared the latest on Kenny Omega's recovery. Meltzer said that Omega still has some pain, but he's been able to train with moderate intensity. Omega cannot take bumps in the ring yet, and there is no estimate for when he'll return to wrestling. But at least we think he is returning to wrestling, so that's great news. And I know we're at what time, like 7:30 or so. We are going to wrap up before Dynamite. I know everybody wants to watch Dynamite at 8. So do we. We're doing a watch along of Dynamite at 8. Where we're going to close down this broadcast and start a new broadcast for the watch along. So yeah, watch it with us at 8. But like I said, we'll be done before 8. All right, let's see. And now to the news. In a surprise development reported Wednesday, AEW is looking at running a stadium event in Australia in 2025. According to the Sporting News out of Australia, the plans for the company's debut in the country are, quote, well advanced, and, quote, AEW power brokers have been scouting venues along Australia's east coast. So very cool. And Logan, what's up? Says, yo back to you, Logan. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tony Khan has made a lot of announcements since creating AEW, but he says the biggest one yet could come at any time now. Khan has sounded optimistic for a while regarding his company's upcoming media rights. However, he has stressed in recent weeks that AEW is, quote, on the verge of the deal being announced. When speaking to TV Insider recently, Khan said multiple announcements will be made shortly as there are multiple aspects to the deal. So yeah, look forward to that announcement. Yeah, very much. Logan, how are you doing today, my friend? We're doing great. Yeah, doing the show and doing a watch along at 8. Yeah, this is what we do. We love it.
Plus, Dynamite looks
Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well. Do what? Do okay?
I said, plus, Dynamite looks really good tonight. I'm excited for
Yes,
it.
it does. Yes, it does. Let's see. After meeting with Tony Khan, Jennifer Pepperman immediately knew that AEW was the right place for her. She was hired, what, a year ago or so. Pepperman departed WWE for AEW this February. Well, there it is, February, joining the company as its vice president of content development. She was part of the WWE creative team since 2017 and had the job title of senior writer slash producer. That was a big hire for AEW. In WWE, Pepperman worked closely with Mercedes Moné. Her AEW arrival coincided with Moné also being brought into the company. Pepperman told AEW Unrestricted that a conversation with Moné started the process of her being hired. So awesome, yeah. And we're seeing more and more awesome women from around the world joining AEW. You know, we just had Camille joining. Of course, Mercedes Moné coming in. We got Dr. Britt Baker returning. Probably Jamie Hayter returning soon. I mean, it's, yeah, great things are happening in that division. Wednesday nights, AEW Dynamite averaged 703,000 viewers on TBS. That's up 13% from last week, so that's nice. It's the best audience total for the show since July 24th, Blood and Guts. In the 18 through 49 demo, Dynamite ranked first on cable for the day with a .23 rating. That's up 21.1% from last week. Nice. And is also the highest rating the show has done in that category since Blood and Guts. So yeah, every day on the internet, you know, you hear people say that, oh, the sky is falling, AEW's dying, AEW's dead. You know, you might have missed, if that's you, you might have missed where I said Dynamite was ranked first on cable for the day in the 18 through 49 demo. That's a big deal. You know, that's exactly what they want and what advertisers want to see. Number one for a Wednesday, for the whole day on cable. So, yeah, these people who are, you know, predicting the death or saying AEW is already dead. I don't know. They get huge pay per view buy rates, and like I said, they're not doing like record wrestling ratings, but they're beating all the competition on cable.
Mhm.
So, and that includes sports Wednesday night. Legitimate sports. So yeah,
Not
good for AEW.
predetermined
Not
sports.
predetermined sports. Yeah. So yeah, good for AEW. I mean, everybody wants high ratings. The fans would like to see better ratings. The ones who care about that. And of course, AEW would like better ratings, but I think being number one is pretty damn good, and that's why they're gonna get a ton of fucking money whenever they do sign a media deal with someone. Logan saying, "I can't wait for the Okada match." I think he's talking about Okada and Claudio tonight. That's gonna be a good one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of think something's gonna happen in the match where we'll end up seeing a rematch at All In
Hmm.
because Okada doesn't have a match yet. Claudio doesn't have a match yet. Like I said, I feel like we'll see an All In rematch, but I don't know. And again, we haven't read the spoilers for Dynamite or Collision. Nobody, please don't spoil it for us. We don't know what happens yet. But yeah, I'm with you, Logan. That's going to be a good match tonight. Tony Khan believes that WWE is still engaging in contract tampering with AEW talent. The alleged tampering became an issue in 2022 when Khan says many AEW wrestlers came to him claiming that WWE reached out trying to get them to break their contracts. The fucked up part about that, well, one, it's illegal. Uh, the second part about it is at the time, Tony Khan's mother was in the hospital recovering from a stroke. And Khan said this is when business became personal between him and WWE when they, uh, came in and tried to swoop in and steal his talent when he's away from the company taking care of his mother. That's a underhanded move for sure. Um, let's see. The Dan Lebitard show on that, Tony Khan was asked if he thinks the tampering situation has gotten better since then. Tony Khan said, "I don't think it has. I think that it's still happening, and I will reserve all rights when it comes to that, but I don't think that it's stopped. And I'll leave it at that." Khan's answer comes as the Lucha Brothers are believed to be on the verge of leaving AEW for WWE. So sad. The saddest loss AEW's had to WWE, and I think the most important loss AEW has had to WWE so far.
You would put that above Cody?
Oh fuck. No.
Okay,
No.
I was like,
No, I wasn't thinking about Cody. Number two biggest loss. Logan here saying, "Do you think we will see Hangman at All In?"
I do, and it's in the news.
Oh, okay, cool.
He talks about it in an interview. We'll read it in just a second.
Logan also saying WWE should be ashamed to do that. That is wrong. He was trying to take care of the woman who brought him into the world. I stand with Tony Khan. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the long and short of it. Like I said, number one, it was illegal. Number two, what they did and the way they did it is, like you said, it's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's not a way to operate business. That's slimy and it's dirty. And there's a reason things like that are illegal. Just very shitty of WWE to do that. And I try not to say a lot of bad things about them on this show and run them down. That's not what we do here. But that was shitty of them, yeah, for sure. All right. Although the 2025 All In will take place in Globe Life Field in Arlington on July 12th, that's where the Texas Rangers play baseball. Um, Tony Khan still has plans to bring AEW to England next year. It was announced this week that All In 2025, oh, I said that already. AEW will then bring All In back to London in 2026. Khan told the Dan Lebitard show that this is, quote, definitely not, end quote, the last AEW show that will take place at Wembley Stadium. He said, "We love having AEW at Wembley Stadium, and we're back in 2026 in England. You can bet you'll see us there in 2025 as well. It won't be AEW All In, it'll be something different. But we've got some big plans coming up next year as well." So, yeah, great. They have a great audience in London. They sold, 81,000 tickets. Jesus, for the biggest wrestling show in history last
Yeah.
year at All In. And this year, not selling it out, but they still sold around 55,000
Yeah.
tickets. So that's still a
Not bad.
pretty amazing number for a
Yeah.
wrestling show. Yeah.
Plus, like, by having it in England, like, it's so cheap and easy to get from one European country to the other once you're over there.
Mhm.
That I just think it's awesome that they're putting on shows for their European fans.
Yeah, but
live shows.
Yeah, but the tickets aren't cheap and easy. Logan also saying, "I wish we could see Hologram at All In. He would put on a classic." Hey man, I personally hadn't thought about that, but
Maybe the Gauntlet.
I'm totally with you. No, he deserves. He is so good. He deserves a one-on-one, just a spectacle of a match.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe throw Penta into the Gauntlet and have Ray Phoenix versus Hologram, something like that. I mean,
that'd be awesome.
yeah, he's such an amazing wrestler, and I know I talk about him a lot, but I love him. He's such an amazing wrestler. He deserves a singles match at All In, yeah, and he would put on a quite a show, and that audience would be roaring for him. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Do you want to skim down to the Adam Page?
Yeah.
So that
It's like I said, we're
gonna get you out in time for Dynamite.
Yeah. Should I read the Jack Perry thing?
No, we talked about it already.
Oh, okay. Should I read the Bryan Danielson thing?
I can't remember what the Bryan Danielson thing is.
Okay.
Sorry. So I'm gonna say no. Probably him talking about his family and how much he loves AEW and how it's the best time of his career is my guess summary.
Well, basically, he said even if his in-ring career ends, he will stay with AEW in some way. That's basically what he said this week. Wow, that's a lot of quotes. The Friday, August 16th episode of AEW Rampage averaged 295,000 viewers on TNT. That is up 34.7% from the previous week. It's the best audience total for Rampage since July 26. Rampage got a .10 rating in the 18 through 49 demo. That's up 11.1% from last week. Saturday's Collision episode averaged 406,000 viewers on TNT, up 9.7% from the previous week. It's the best audience total for the show since July 20th. And Collision drew a .13 rating in the 18 through 49 demo, up 18.2% from last week. So all three shows up in the ratings this week. So some good news in the ratings for a change. Because last week's ratings were terrible. All right. Okay, so Hangman Adam Page will be in London for AEW All In, despite not having a match scheduled for the show. The former AEW World Champion told Paste Magazine that while he won't give anything away regarding his plans for Sunday's pay-per-view, he has some idea of what he wants to do. So it sounds to me, Logan, that Hangman will be at All In, and definitely should. Yeah, I can't imagine him being left off the card. Since he's returned, he's been fantastic in the ring, on the mic. I mean, the guy's the total package in wrestling. Yeah.
Well, plus, like, he has to fuck with Swerve during that match, right? Like, he has to.
You kind of figure he would. I mean, I'd like to see Swerve and Bryan Danielson just be a straight up wrestling match, but I don't know. With Hangman hanging around, I don't know.
I think at the very least, Hangman needs to come out to try, and then maybe the rest of the BCC keep him from interfering.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
but
everyone thinks it's going to be Swerve versus Hangman at All Out. Now, whether this will be for the belt or not, who knows? But everybody thinks we're getting Swerve versus Hangman 2 weeks after All In at All Out.
It's a way to get people to buy your pay-per-views back to back.
Okay. So Logan also saying maybe next for New Japan versus AEW, Hologram versus Mystico. I think Mystico's in CMLL though. He may be in New Japan. I don't know. I never watched New Japan.
But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. I agree. That would be a fantastic match. Both those guys are on that level of just amazing wrestlers. Yeah, I'm with you there. I'd like to see more of Mystico. I haven't seen but a couple matches, but he's definitely impressive.
I think he was having a match at some point with Jericho on a CMLL show, but maybe New Japan guys go there too. I'm not sure.
All right, so they were doing the press conference at the arena in Texas, where All In is going to be next week. And Darby Allin was there, Swerve was there, a number of AEW wrestlers were there, Tony Khan as well, of course. And Darby Allin, he said he was already, when they were there, he was already looking around the arena there for things to, quote, fall off of. So, man, that guy's crazy. As we know, it seems like he'll do almost anything. And I hope he doesn't die. I mean, I'm really afraid Darby Allin will die on television one day. I'm not joking. I mean that. And I hope I'm wrong, but that's what he said. So that's a huge arena. I hope he doesn't plan to fall off of something too high, But we'll see. We'll see what he does next year. All right. Amid rumors, this is one. Well, it's not a spoiler because it isn't on television. Amid rumors that he is going to sign a contract with AEW, reigning Rev Pro undisputed British heavyweight champion Michael Oku made his AEW in-ring debut Wednesday in a dark match. This has to be Tuesday, not Wednesday.
What are you talking about?
It says he made his debut Wednesday. It has to be Tuesday.
Well, they mean like for the Wednesday show.
Yeah. So last night.
Yes.
Michael Oku was accompanied by girlfriend and manager Amira Blair, I'm not sure. And Oku defeated Serpentico prior to the Dynamite Collision doubleheader taping that happened in Cardiff, Wales. So again, no spoiler, not matching on TV, but Michael Oku is now in AEW.
For that match. He's not like officially All Elite.
Oh, is that right?
I'm pretty sure. There wasn't an announcement that he's signed with AEW. It was just he was in this dark match.
Okay, all right.
At least based on what I read.
One match in AEW. I'm going to read some of these comments real quick, and then I'm going to get to a quick preview of Dynamite and the top 5. Logan says Jericho and Mystico fought in New Japan. Thank you for clearing that up. I love it when our viewers can keep us straight. Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees. What's up? What's up, man? Says, I really hope Darby doesn't die either. He still has to climb Mount Everest. Right. He said he's going to do that next year still. Yeah.
He said there's like a 2-month window when it's safe to climb. And so he has to wait until those 2 months come around again.
But yeah, we were there at Revolution where he jumped off a ladder into that sugar glass that was laying on steel chairs.
Yeah, four chairs.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that guy, and then bleeding, from his back all over the place. I mean, the guy's insane. He's done crazier stuff than that. But
then he broke his foot, and then he got hit by a bus, and then he had a match like the same week.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You gotta give it to him. He's
wild.
He's wild. Yeah. Logan says, did they tape it? I thought it was live. Yeah. So Dynamite tonight is taped, and Collision Saturday it's over. They taped both last night. And again, we haven't watched them. Please don't spoil it for us if you're out there watching. We are doing a watch along at 8 for Dynamite.
Which is in 7 minutes.
Oh shit, 7 minutes? Yes, okay, we're gonna do the top 5.
Yeah.
It's the top 5 very quickly. All right, AEW women. Number 5. What?
Sorry, he said Darby Allin's like a walking Final Destination.
Yeah, Darby is like a walking Final Destination movie. Derek's Wrestling Toys and Tees.
Brilliant.
That's pretty funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's pretty good. Women. Number 5, same spot as last week. Former world champion Hikaru Shida lost to Britt Baker, wasn't it? No, lost to Mercedes. Lost to Mercedes. Number 4, back in the top 5, Dr. Britt Baker, MD.
DMD.
Oh, DMD. Thank you. Number 3, back in the top 5, Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion. Number 2, she's been there for weeks. Mariah May, the Owen Hart Cup champion, of course, getting her title shot at All In on Sunday. Number 1, she's been there for months. Toni Storm, the AEW Women's World Champion. All right, teams. Number 5, back in the top 5, the Undisputed Kingdom, who lost their Ring of Honor tag belts this week to the number 4 team, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara. Number 3, up 2 spots from number 5, are FTR, who get a title shot at All In and who had a 5-bone match with the Acclaimed on Collision. Great match. Number 2, uh, back in the top 5, the Acclaimed after their time limit draw with FTR. And they are also getting a tag title shot at All In. That's a triple threat, of course.
I'm so excited.
Number 1 in the rankings, the Young Bucks, who had their first title defense since they've had the belts in April or May, whenever that was. April. They had their first title defense and they beat the Acclaimed by disqualification. So, number 1, the Young Bucks. Haven't been on the list for a little bit. And last, the AEW men, number 5, falling. No, I'm sorry. Number 5, back in the top 5, the undefeated Hologram. Love that guy. Number 4, same spot as last week, Darby Allin, who is getting a TNT title shot at All In, and he's getting a world title shot coming up at Grand Slam, September 25th.
All In's a coffin match.
Hey, right, it's a coffin match. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, I think. Number 3, back in the top 5, Orange Cassidy, who's going to be the number 1 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. Number 2, he's been there for a couple weeks. Bryan Danielson, who is the Owen Hart Cup winner this year and gets the world title shot against Swerve at All In. And of course, number 1, he's been there for months. Swerve Strickland, the world champion. Strickland versus Danielson, title versus career on Sunday. So that has been AEW Weekly. We're doing a watch along of AEW Dynamite starting at 8. So you'll have to get out of this show and then find the next show on YouTube, which will be called AEW Dynamite 8/21/2024 watch along. Doing a watch along at 8 tonight. We're doing our All In preview and prediction show at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Thursday night. All In prediction and preview show. So make sure to join us. Of course, we're doing a watch along for All In on Sunday.
And for Collision on
and
Saturday.
for Collision on Saturday.
We'll be here all week.
So yeah, we'll be here all week. But yeah, we're getting ready for the watch along at 8. So thanks for watching. Subscribe.
Turn on notifications so you can just click it and then boom, we are taken to our video.
Yeah, subscribe and like stuff and
Yep.
review stuff. Tell people you love us. Hopefully you do.
Yep.
And thanks for watching or listening.
Mhm.
And
we'll see you in 2 minutes.
yeah. And the audio only version of the podcast will be up later tonight. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day. We'll see you in the watch along in 2 minutes.